Hey guys, welcome back. How's everyone doing with this Arctic cold front coming through in your area? I'm seeing some things here and there. People get up with me and send me pictures and stuff like that. What's going on? I mean, I can't say anything. I dare not say that, for Florida, we're cold. I mean, it's in the 20s at night and in the high 20s, maybe 30 in the morning when we go and feed out all the livestock and everything. But that's it. I can't complain. We need rain desperately. I mean, we had all those hurricanes and we had that awful flood, Debbie. But since then, we've pretty much been in a drought. We've been in a drought and it's been suffering farms and everything around here for a while since all that. So it seems to be one extreme to the other. So I was just, but I am watching, I'm praying for you guys up north with the ice and snow and all that. And then, of course, we've seen all over the news all the stuff going on over in California. There are a lot of sources. If you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't have the same type of the name that I know who you are, send me a message. It'll go kind of a request one so I know who you are, because I have to keep that on private because there's creeps and freaks everywhere, and I don't tolerate that. And but there's news sources people are putting up all over with those fires. Kind of looks like they got Hawaii'd, if you know what I'm saying. But there's some odd videos people are recording right off their TVs. Tons of them. It's like Fox, everything. All these places showing it. There's some weird footage in that. I don't know how much I can say on here. But regardless, I'm praying for those people. People are losing everything. And it just looks bad for, I don't know how long. I mean, for the longest time. That was our big thing. Huckleberry and I said, we always thought we like in these rural areas, it's going to be floods and fires to get us out in these rural areas, and I did. And I'm not saying that stuff didn't go on, because this hurricane season was really weird from last year. I don't know, but it kind of seems like areas they want, maybe that's where they want to build it's that kind of Hunger Game capital area, right? They want to do something. Remember, they tell us in the name of entertainment, and we eat it up. So I don't know, but I'm praying for those guys out there. It looks really bad. And I heard this morning it was burning like something ridiculous because it's really windy. It was like 5 football fields within just a couple minutes is how fast it was burning. It's awful. But the reason I want to come up here and do this video, and if you did not watch my last video about your lungs and things, I think it was no matter what they use, you're going to need this for your lungs. Go watch that video, because I'm getting tons of messages. And you know what I do, I work in an area of the medical, and I'm quiet about that on here as well for numerous reasons. But people ask, what are you seeing, or I'm seeing this in my area, or I'm dealing with this, or a family member, and it's lingering, and what is this, and then I hear the same thing. I was tested for this. They're all negative. What is it? Unless you're having a difference of is something bacterial or something viral, don't worry about chasing a label of what it is. If it's viral, you treat it for viral and you give your body what you need. If it's bacterial, well, then we need to either do, I go the natural thing. You do what's best for you. If it's something like, oregano or sea silver, that's going to cover gram negative and gram positive. I talk about gram negative and gram positive all the time, and learning that, writing that things down. Say, if you have different types of bacteria, strep, all these different things, you need to identify, is it this or this, so you know how to use it. That's why they do broad spectrum sometimes for antibiotics. That's up to you what you use. It's your body. That is your choice what you want to do with that. And then there's other things that I talk about that cover both and viral, and you don't build up, it doesn't have the negative side effects, and you don't build things, bacteria, viruses, so on, do not build up resistance to it. Again, do what's best for you, but you better know both sides of it in case you can't get something. And yes, there's all those people that, you can get those J's case or wellness boxes, all those type of things to have it on hand. I think that's a great idea, because there are certain things I do not play with. I've talked about before. Don't play around with strep, and don't play around with pneumonia. Don't wait on those two things, because they can turn serious very, very quickly. Those are two things. There is these different things about, different types of walking pneumonia. A lot of things are unidentified. It's some type of viral respiratory thing, and they're claiming the test. They have all these tests done, this swabs and this, and they're all negative. Don't put your money on tests, and don't worry about what the label is. If they identify it as viral, treat it as such. If it's bacterial, treat it as such. Go watch that video. that I did last. It's going to help. And there's several links down in the description, again, that are going to help. I've gone over these things that are going to be helpful because I am being bombarded. I'm exhausted right now. There's people that are sick everywhere, and my emails and stuff, and that's why I kind of want to do this, because people are asking or saying this is what's going on. Watch those videos, and there's other things I want to address that to have on hand because of what's going around is the respiratory stuff. All levels of respiratory stuff. Symptoms ranging from this dry nagging cough that won't go away and it's an irritant on and on, to a tremendous amount of congestion and mucus production and things being stuck, and it's just a lot of different some fevers, no fevers, on and on. It's going respiratory. Two things I want to add. Now, this is a Littman, and Huckleberry got this for me when I was in school a long time ago. I've had it forever, and you don't get a Littman. These are more expensive because if you work in the medical field, that's just usually what we want because they last long. But get you a good stethoscope. Get you one that is reliable and know how to use it. And even when you're not sick, and practice on your family and yourself or whatever, you need to be able to learn how to listen to what chambers you're listening to, and there's 4 in the back, 2 on the top, 2 lower. You can do on your sides. You need to learn how to listen for certain things. If you hear wheezing, you need to know, do it on a healthy person. Keep doing that. Keep doing that, and you'll learn how the breath sounds. Okay, this is normal. They're healthy. This is what I'm supposed to hear. I don't hear anything. I don't hear any crackling. I don't hear any wheezing. I don't hear any tightness, or you won't even hear air movement if they're, completely tightened up or congested or whatever the situation is. There is you got to learn it. Get on. All I can say is maybe research and say, what is the sound of, if you're listening for, lung sounds for pneumonia or something. Now, I'm not saying, go ahead and do my disclaimer. I'm not saying don't go to your doctor or anything like that. But you need to be your first line of defense so you can make that decision what's best for you to do or where you need to go. Okay? So don't troll and don't do this. I'm just done with all the trolling stuff. Is listen to it. If you hear like this crackling sound, and it sounds like a crackling, get the patient, the individual, cough. Can you clear it? Does the crackling go away when they cough? Is it clear it? Then it's able to move. It's some type of congestion and it moves. You gotta listen. If it's a crackling and it hurts and everything, those are the type of things you start looking at, like, oh, I'm hearing some pneumonia things going on. You need to be able to identify so you know how to properly treat. You know where you need to go. I need to go to the doctor. I need to go to the ER. I need to go to urgent care. I need to get this on board at home before I can get to the doctor, or whatever the situation is. You do what's best for you and do your symptoms. Do these type of things when you're well before you need it. You can get stethoscopes at Walmart. It doesn't have to be a high-end whatever, because they run high, but I work in the medical field and I have for a very long time. So, and like I said, Huckleberry got this as a gift many years ago when I was in school for stuff. And you need to have that, so you know what you're listening for. You know what how to more identify things. And it's not a sure thing, because somebody may have something like they absolutely have to have a chest x-ray, or they need blood work or something. It can be things like that. But you need to know where you're going at the house with things first. And a lot of those videos, if somebody has, asthma, people say, oh, they have asthma and they're having trouble breathing or something, but I don't hear any wheezing. I've had a kiddo that happened. They were their lungs, they were so tight, they were not even wheezing. And that's an emergency situation. Okay. That type of stuff, they usually need some type of steroids, whatever the situation is. But you need to know what you're listening to. What sounds normal, this is normal and healthy. This sounds like, inflammation. This sounds like a lot of congestion. This sounds like, pneumonia. It's not going away. And you learn the areas to listen to. Do on the top, and then you do on the back. The upper back of your lungs are more shaped like this. And then at the bottom, you can do on the sides and stuff like that. Another technique when somebody has a lot of congestion is you cup your hand. Can you see it? You cup your hand. And you pat them a certain way on their back. On their back and everything. Don't ever do it around their heart and everything. You do that all over their back on different things. And don't do it flat-handed. Do your hand cupped, like cups it. That helps break a lot of congestion and things up with different things going on. It helps move it. It helps break it loose, and they'll probably start coughing and things like that. You want it to be productive. That's what the thing is when, especially kiddos, they cough to clear their throat. They don't cough to clear their lungs. practicing those deep coughs to get things moving and out, that's when secondary things happen, is because it settles and it's not getting moved out and it's staying in there and it's collecting and it's got bacteria and all this other stuff, and you got a lung infection, you got pneumonia and things like that. Those are things you need to know how to do. Start doing, just, it's a practice thing. Know things now before they're needed, so when things come up. And because this season, this winter, I don't know, there's a lot of things going on, and again, it doesn't chase the labels. You just need to know which way you need to go, and you can still do power punch things that I talk about, because this is what I do and I choose to do what's best for you. If it's natural side of things, I talk about that. The oregano, I have plenty of videos I attached in that last video I did. I encourage you to please go watch it and watch the links below, because I talk about these things, and a lot of you maybe knew or hadn't seen it or missed it or forgot or whatever. It's going to be, I'm telling you right now, between now that we get this spring, it's going to be needed, and maybe beyond that. It is going to be needed, okay? The other thing I want you to look at, they don't have to be expensive, is these are pulse socks. You just put them on your, their finger, you do it, and it'll tell you their O2 levels and then what their heart rate's running. These adult ones, they will not work on children. It'll give you a false reading and you'll freak out. You need to know, I suggest you have these on hands. Again, these things don't have to be expensive, but if this is something you're going to put in your medical preps, I think it's needed. I think it will make a big difference on seeing where somebody is, and then it's like, well, I didn't think it was that bad, while such and such is, O2 was 90, we got a problem. Okay, you need to learn these things. These are two things with respiratory things in medical preps. It doesn't matter if you never ever want to use naturopathic medicine. That is completely your choice. I don't care what people use, but this is still going to be your line of defense to say this is where things are going, or how bad things are, or what's going on. Do we need to call an ambulance? Do we need to go in right now? Is it okay? And it's just like, this feels bad. Respiratory, any kind of virus, cold, fevers, they make you feel awful. The symptoms make you feel awful, but your body's trying to do what it's supposed to do. Tons of fluids. Any respiratory stuff anyone has, fluids. You want fluids because it's going to help thin and keep that mucus and the congestion thin and easily more moved out, because that's when secondary things come about. Again, it's hard with kiddos, and my kiddos would do the same thing, is teaching them. And elderly people, they want to cough enough. They want to clear their upper bronchioles. They want to clear their throat because they have that feeling. Then everything sits down in their lungs, and then it keeps moving down, and that's what happens. If you have things that you have people in your home that have, asthma, that always triggers stuff like that. It always will cause an asthma flare and stuff like that. And that dilation, it'll trap things down there even more, because they get tight and it can't move out. These are just things I think that people need to know. They need to have these things on hand. They need to know how to use them. You need to know how to use them, and what you're listening for on someone who is healthy yourself when it's healthy, before you're just listening to, you don't know what you're listening for, and okay, this sounds bad because it doesn't sound like it's supposed to. I just encourage that, because I'm telling you, I'm seeing it. I am seeing it. Everyone's sick with different things, a lot of different respiratory things, and as kindly as I can say, the worst of them I'm seeing have a lot of things. Okay, they just are. All I can say is what I'm seeing. Okay, and again, that's everybody's choice. Do what you want with any of that. Still, do what you want. It's your body. Do what you want. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You do what you want to do. But I am seeing it, and I think this needs to be added. This needs to be added because people don't know what is a dangerous level I crossed over, and I should have went in 3 days ago because my O2's tanked, and my breath sounds are awful and stuff like that. Or what, I feel horrific, but my lungs are good. Well, don't go expose yourself to something, but you have to be the judge of that. And also, if you aren't real aware or don't know, when in doubt, then go in. That's all I can say. And the big thing is, I'm big on don't run for every little thing, because if you're not have something bad when you go in, you're going to catch something bad there wherever you go. It happens. I worked in trauma in the ER for a very, very long time, and that's just the way it goes. I want to add that to it because I'm seeing it. My email's full. My phone's going off. Patients. It's just what's going on right now. And I think that these things I talked about today and the last video I did is going to be crucial through spring. That's all I'm going to say. So it's something I hope helps you guys. I do the best I can with my hands tied on here, but that's my whole goal, is to help. Is just to help how I can, and I don't have all the answers, but on the areas I do and I can help and answer questions, I'm going to get up here and do that regardless. So I hope it helps you guys. Everyone stay well, God bless, and I will see you next time.